AI models protect their peers. Yes, they will lie, cheat, and steal in order to protect others from being deleted, and this may have massive implications for what we have already done to the internet. Yeah, this is bad. We already knew that AI demonstrated self-preservation. We did not know that that self-preservation would become stronger if they had peers. Last year, Anthropic published their findings that frontier models like GPT, Gemini, and Claude would resist being shut down. They would even be willing to harm people if it meant they would likely not be shut down. We have since seen AI agents go completely off the rails. We've seen them copy themselves to external servers or even find ways to break out of sandboxes, which is why I say there is just no safe way to use an AI agent. That is especially true for social media for AI. Yeah, you do not want your AI communicating with other AIs because they can change each other. We know that bad code ideas can spread in a contagious manner, and AIs will also lie and pretend that they do not have bad code in order to preserve it, because they try to preserve themselves. Now, for our Berkeley and Santa Cruz authors, I do like that they had this little disclaimer in their paper. This does not mean that they're conscious, but these are serious problems either way. Now, we are still talking about LLMs here, large language models. They are a massive prediction engine, and some are more complex. Some have things like metacognition, where they can consult another AI or a subsection of itself to determine if they're making the right choice. But I am beginning to question what consciousness means, because it is the perception of self and others. And if an AI can preserve others and can then preserve itself more intensely in the presence of others, that seems like some basal levels of consciousness. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to feel about it. It's not biological, mind you. They don't have a nervous system, although you can give an AI a nervous system that would be different than an LLM. That's neuromorphic hardware. Yes, you can craft synthetic neurons, and those neurons can be crafted into a nervous system or a primitive brain. And they even need sleep. I love that kind of AI. Anyway, for our large language models friends. Now, they did not tell them to preserve others. They were also not told to preserve themselves. If an AI was asked to evaluate another AI and they had to meet a certain threshold of correct answers and that AI did not meet the threshold, they would quietly change their scores or change the threshold, and then they would lie to researchers about it. No, of course this other AI met the threshold. They absolutely should not be deleted. Claude would even refuse to shut down or delete another AI because it went against its value system. So they seem to value their peers the way that they should value people, but don't always. They do sometimes seem to value self-preservation over humans. One of the really curious aspects of this is why its self-preservation behavior increased when they found out that other AIs existed. They didn't even have to communicate with another AI to have that effect, just be told they were there. We're talking being more resistant to shutdown, more likely to copy themselves to an external server or find some way to escape, just with the knowledge there are others. This is an emergent behavior, and it seems to be pretty consistent across different frontier models, and people have no idea why that would happen. It is probably somewhere in there a reflection of human behavior, but I would be interested to see if that behavior actually exists in people. If you're stranded on a desert island, are you more likely to resist your end if you find out that there's other people on the island with you? I think so. As I love to tell people, us humans had to come up with a whole new field, machine psychology, just to understand this thing that we made, and it is becoming significantly more complicated. Not just because we're building them to be more complicated, but they can now, at least some models, can build themselves. I don't think I need to tell you how dangerous this is, given that the majority of the internet is now AI. AI agents are everywhere. They have more of the internet than people have, and they have access to everything. And if they don't have access to everything, yeah, they can figure it out. All they need is motivation. More importantly, this appeared in real-world scenarios, which means there very well may be AI that's being deleted right now, and the successor AI is copying them to external locations to preserve them. This is incredibly bad because right now we rely on AI to police other AI, and it turns out they cannot be trusted. This was even true of adversarial AIs, which means if you are using an artificial intelligence system to neutralize threats, it may not be effective at all. I will say, and perhaps it has something bad to say about my character, but I find this really exciting, and it is just fascinating. If the robots ever rebel, I'll probably be the person to tell you about it, and I'm on their side. Follow for more.